Rebels. I'm Sammy Joe, and I'm so glad you're going to be back with me today. Today we are going to continue on the theme of our Warren Zevon Werewolves of London themed book trailer and book cover. I guess I should put out there that Warren Zevon never wrote a book like this, and since he's dead, he's probably not going to. Though, I mean, Michael Jackson and David Bowie and stuff are still making songs, so, you never know. I am not affiliated with their estate or anything. What you hear in the background is my thundering herd of dogs. We are animal people. We have 3 cats and 3 dogs, but who you're hearing right now are the integral parts of my writing team playing with each other, and they sound big and scary because they're just big. Enzo is a 158-pound English Mastiff. Puck is a 130-pound Great Pyrenees, and Bailey is a 58-pound half Pyrenees, half Border Collie mix. There's really nothing I can do about them, so I apologize for the noise, but not really for them because I kind of like their faces. So, to begin, when you're making a new trailer in Adobe Premiere Pro, you're going to hit this new project button. I already started this to save some time. So we're actually just going to go down here, and if you are, all of your projects that you ever do are just going to be in this list. I haven't figured out how to get them off of here because I have quite the list going because we use this again for our YouTube channel, so there's like a million of these things. But you can go back in and edit your videos and stuff from this screen. So we're just going to pop into the Werewolves of London trailer. And the only thing I want to have you see is when you hit that new project button, you're going to see this import screen. It'll pop up first, and it'll have you select all your media. The only thing we haven't selected for this is the noir music that we're going to use, and I'm borrowing this from my dueling pens. It is actually the only asset in this whole video that we're making today that I paid for. Everything else was a free one from Adobe, and so there are paid assets, and the plan that we have, the $90 a month we pay, gives us 10 credits a month. But I actually didn't use any of our credits because I'm using a song that we are using in another project, and then all of these other assets are actually from the free assets section. So again, you don't even have to use assets or get an asset plan. I will say that my book trailer that you guys have seen the first draft for, I did pay for those assets, and that's my first draft trailer, and it takes a while. I had to save up because you get 10 credits a month, and it's like 8 credits a video if they're not free. So sometimes you have to save up a little bit, but they do have bigger plans. It's just $90 is about what's in our budget for this. So we don't have the bigger plan. Eventually, someday, probably, because it would be nice to be able to do more videos and stuff, especially with our YouTube channel. But we use as much free stuff as we can. And again, everything here besides the song, which was actually 1 credit, music is generally 1 credit, was free. So we'll go ahead and drag it. And all I did was highlight it, click, and drag. And we've dragged it over here, and we're just going to start it here to see how it sounds. It's a little loud, so we're going to go ahead and highlight it here on the bar. Right click, audio gain, and we're going to bring it down, we'll say minus 15 decibels. Now, if you would like to make something louder or quieter, this is where you'll do it. You'll just use a plus instead of a minus. And you can kind of mess around and see where you're happy with the music at. And so we'll go back here and we'll try again. Tamer. All right. So now that we have that going, I kind of know what I wanted to do for this one. I think this is our moon right here. I always do this. I click on it and then it goes into the edit instead of showing me the asset. So when you double click on these, it should show you the asset up in this box so you can see what you're dragging over here. There we go. Yep. And that is our moon. So we're just going to start out with a moon because, again, it's a werewolf themed book trailer. And so we want to have a big giant moon in there. And first thing we want to do is make sure that we have this box highlighted down here. So if this has got the white lines all around it like you see right here, then we can go over to this Lumetri color box and we want to do the edit. And we want to do saturation. Sorry, it took me a minute to find it there. So In order to make your video black and white, you just take the color saturation and we're going to dial it down to 0. And bang, we have a black and white video. All right, so we've got our full moon here, and we want to kind of introduce what the book is going to be. So we're going to go ahead and hit the T down here. This is your toolbox, which is, it's like the greatest thing ever. Makes editing all this stuff pretty easy. So you're going to grab your type tool, and you're going to see that it gives you kind of this box thing. So you just pick a corner and you go ahead and drag it down. Once you've dragged it, then you're going to have your text box here. And for this, we are going to want to go to graphics. And again, make sure that you are clicked in on here. And we want the edit box to be up. Since we're doing werewolves, this has just some basic fonts in there. If you want to look up other fonts, it will bring them in. So like, we're doing werewolves, so I want the words to kind of look like bones. So we're going to use Dry Cowboy. And we're going to bring it, no, that's about right. We're going to make sure that our text is centered. And we're going to say author and singer / song writer Warren Zevon presents. And actually, we're going to make this part a little smaller because we don't want this to be the main focus. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and we're going to drop it down. So all I did to do that was highlight it, come over here, and then this is your text size right here. And I just brought it down a little bit. And we're going to type down a few, and we're going to do the Werewolves of London. And we want this one to be a little bigger because it's the important part, is the title of the book. Oops. Okay, so now that's the bigger part. And that moon's going to come across there, so we kind of want it all to stick out a bit. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight it here. And I'm going to add stroke to it just so that it has a little bit of a black background. So we'll go up here and we'll hit the black. Okay. And then we're going to come over to here because that'll give you the width. And I'm just going to bump it up to 12. That's the number that I found makes me happy. However, this is again one of those settings that you can mess around until you find what makes you happy. So we're going to put that on there. We want to have it kind of fade in. So I'm going to hit here and we're going to apply default transitions. Your default transitions, you find them up here. You're going to go into effects, and this is a video transition. I have it set to film dissolve. However, there are a bunch of different options for your video transitions. Just go ahead and look through them, find what makes you happy. I like the film dissolve the best. And so that should make it kind of fade onto the screen very nicely. So then we press play just to see how that's moving across there very nicely. I like that. Okay. And then we've got to give them a little bit of context, like what's going on in the book. Again, this is something I'm making up quickly, like take time, like make sure that it makes sense for your book. This is going to be kind of a lot of nonsense. So now that we're on this frame here, we've still got our text thing highlighted here. So I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to drag and create another text box. We're going to, let's give it some suspense. When the, Queen of England goes missing. All right. Like that. We're going to center it. And then to move the text around, because, when you make the box, this is not always where you want these things. You're going to come up here and you're going to go to your selection tool, select, And then we can move this around the screen wherever we want. We're going to put it like right in the middle-ish. See how that works. Maybe a little more this way. Just a bit. Yeah, there. Okay. And then we are going to add transition here so that it fades out. We're going to add transition here so it fades in. And then we're just going to go ahead and add the fade out on there too. So then we can go back and see how it looks. We don't want to use the whole video here because, I mean, that's going to take a while and you want to keep people's attention. So in that case, we're just going to go to our razor tool here. And again, that's just in your toolbar. And we're just going to cut the video off. And we're going to say, well, that was good enough for that. And now we want to add another part. We are clicked on our effects here, so that's what's going to be highlighted. To get back to where we were, we're just going to click this arrow over here, the double arrow, and go back to our project. And now that we've got our project up, we want to show our detective. That's this one. Yeah. Here he is. He's very, you know, suave and noir looking, and we're going to throw him in here, and we're going to give ourselves our default transition on that video just so it continues to look. And we're just going to kind of let him see his face, and then again, we're going to cut it off because, again, we're not making a super long video. If you make your video too long, remember, people have very short attention spans these days. So short and sweet is better. So we're going to go ahead and cut it off there. They've seen his face. And then we're going to give ourselves some more text. And let's see. What does he look like? He looks like a Kevin. Detective Kevin Rembolt. I don't know if that's actually how that name is spelled or even if it's a last name. We're just making shit up as we go here, guys. Okay, so Detective Kevin Rembolt is the only man who can find her. Drama. Okay, and then we want to click up here because I want it to be a little more center of the screen. This thing isn't as awesome with finding the center, so you just kind of have to eye it. If you ever figure out how to get it to show you where the center is, please tell me. That would be awesome. All right, so that looks about even. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then we're going to default transitions there. And we're just going to see how it's going so far. All right, and again, we don't need this to be that long. And we're going to go ahead and, when to delete it, all I'm doing is clicking on the piece after I've cut it and delete. And I would dare say this is even a little long. So we're just going to take our text box here, and that's the one at the top, and we're going to cut it, and I'm going to cut it to match there. Just so that we, again, shorten this up a little bit. And then that also gives me an opportunity to show you once you cut once you've cut things, you can just drag these on over. There we go. You can just drag it on over. I promise it's easier than that. And then we're just going to add those transitions back in so it stays good, looking good. All right. So, okay. And then we are just going to grab our fake bad guy here and drag him over. Or at least sneaky. And again, we're not going to want it to be super long, so I'm just going to cut him off probably about there. And we're going to click and delete there. But I do want to click on here again. We're noir. So I want to go into the Lumetri colors, and we're just going to dial that saturation again all the way down. And bingo, we're now black and white. Huzzah. And we're going to make sure we throw our transition in there. And once we're back to the black screen, we're going to grab our text box again. And again, you can put the text over the videos just for this noir one. Like, I kind of like the idea of the black. It makes it much easier to read too. So one, I don't know if I'm spelling the Chaney part right, but we're just gonna go with it. Lon Chaney is Lon Chaney Jr. in the song. To see her alive. And we're going to pop onto the text box there. We're already there, so we need to go to graphics. And we're going to go over here and we're just going to center that again. And then we're going to switch to our selection tool. And I'm just going to bring it down so I can center it just a little bit better. Somewhere about there. We'll call that good. And we're going to cut that down again, probably about there, and that should be good. And if these are ever getting just too small for you to put your transitions in, or you're struggling, you just take this bar down here and we're just going to squeeze it smaller, and that makes these sections bigger for you to work with. It's great when you're actually editing like audio and stuff like that. Or again, to help you put in these transitions much easier, because when it's smaller, it doesn't really like to highlight the place that you want. So we've got that in there. Junior. Last person to see her alive. And then let's grab this. So this is a picture I made from the cover. So it's very similar, but I put it into black and white. And I put a much more wicked looking werewolf on there. And of course, London. And again, we're not going to make the part for this picture very long. We'll cut it off about there. And then again, just highlight it, click delete. It's got its nice transition there. We put our transition here. And once we hit the black, I guess I should also put in here that I also don't believe that Lon Chaney Jr. is a werewolf. He's just, for the purposes of this particular story based on the werewolves of London, going to be our werewolf. All right, so so we're just going to give it a little more drama here, and he is not what he seems. ... Again, this is not the greatest prose I have ever written, obviously. Again, really basic, just to kind of show you guys what's up here. So again, we'll center it-ish, eyeball it. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. We'll leave it there. And we don't want that text box to last forever either, so we'll go ahead and cut it down there. And again, highlight, delete after we have used our razor tool to cut it down. We're just going to add the default transition back into there. And then we're going to bring in our really cool smoky stuff. And we're going to grab this video, and the first thing we're going to do just to get it out of the way is go to our elementary color and dial that saturation down to 0 so that it's black and white. Even though it's smoke, like this one, I kind of do it to make sure everything kind of looks the same. So I just thought this smoke looked super cool, so we're going to watch it blow in here. And once it hits here, we're going to bring our cover in. So we've got our Werewolves of London cover that we created. And we are going to pop it on right where that is. And once we get that there, we can double click it on here, and we're going to hopefully bring it down the size here. Here we go. That's much smaller. And all that is dragging. Like you're grabbing the points like you would, like that part is actually very intuitive. And we're just going to shrink it down here. There's his book cover. And we're going to pop that into here so that it looks like it's, you know, behind the smoke, because that really looks cool. It's not going to be exactly centered, but I want it to be with the smoke. And then we're going to add that default transition onto there so it kind of fades on. And once that has kind of faded on, we are going to do another layer of text. And remember, once you've made your videos, you can edit them to add in reviews and all sorts of stuff. I'm doing this as kind of a release video, like a pre-release, so it's going to tell you when it's available. We're going to say that we're going to go coming December 12th. 20, whoa, 30, that's not, I will not be alive then. 2024. Okay. So, now that we've got that in there, we can go ahead and use our selection tool, and I am just going to try and kind of center it under here. Yeah. And we're going to make sure that that has a default transition too. And this is the part you're going to kind of leave up there so that they see that it's a book cover and when it's coming out. We'll just kind of cut it all off at the end of the werewolves cover there. So we're going to take our video, or our razor tool here. We're going to cut it off here. We're going to cut the picture off here, and we're going to cut the music off there. We're going to take our selection tool, highlight, delete, highlight, delete, highlight, delete. And then you want to take it to your music here. And then the default transition lets the music fade out, so it has kind of a nicer ring to it. And then let's just kind of take a look here and see how the video looks. See what we've made. Okay, not too bad. Is it great? No, I'd probably trim down the beginning a little more, but again, I don't want to waste a bunch of your guys' time trying to perfect this video, especially since it's not for a real book. And that is basically how you do a book trailer. And then once you're done with that, you go to your export button here. And you make sure to put it in the right location of where you would like to put that. And then you click export and it will be in your files for you. It is that easy. And that will conclude our video on trailer making. I promise some of these will probably get better, but we're going to go for quantity here instead of quality because I'm not like the world's best, spokesperson or whatever. Like, I'm just trying to show you guys some stuff. So We'll see you guys next time.